What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, YouTube? First of all, let me just tell y'all this. This video ain't gonna be long. I'm gonna tell you this already because it's not really much that's been happening this week. A lot of stuff just happened yesterday with Mr. Kanye West, and I just so happened to be on my Twitter and to see somebody had quote tweeted him, and I was like, why can't I see the tweet? And I remember, oh, I blocked him because I was just tired of his shenanigans and his rants and stuff. And some said, click on it and see what the fuck is going on. This man, from yesterday on, like from the middle of yesterday, I would say probably like around 2, 3 o'clock in in the afternoon or whatever, he was tweeting. And he was tweeting. He was tweeting. By the time I got home from work at 7 something at night, he was tweeting. Okay. By the time I was getting ready to go to bed, that motherfucker was still tweeting. Okay, you want to know what he was tweeting about? He was tweeting about this whole Drake situation. He wanted Drake to call him. Mission accomplished, because Drake supposedly called him. You going on and on and on and on and on and on and on about how you're pissed off about, oh, you brought tickets to Pusha T show for the first rows or whatever. That shit got me hot. You owe me an apology for saying what you said. I didn't know nothing about your kid. I didn't tell so-and-so about your kid. And then you went from that to saying you need Drake to call you. Drake supposedly called. Mission accomplished. Then you on here and you just going off about how Drake supposedly threatened you and threatened your family and threatened your kids. To be quite honest, I don't believe half the shit that Kanye is saying. There's a part of me that feel as though we kind of underestimate Drake and be like, that little nigga who, like, the way that Kanye was tweeting, it was like Drake had him shook. I said, you a grown-ass man scared of this dude. And I ain't gonna necessarily say scared, but you kind of shook by him. All right? And I don't know if what was said, okay? All the threats and stuff, that don't sound like no Drake or whatever, but we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and we don't know what Drake character really is about or really is. And my whole thing is this. If that happened, you should have kept that. If my tongue is blue, it's because I just gargled some mouthwash. Anyway, you just some Listerine, bitch, and it got my shit just on fire, but it's cool. Minty fresh. You smell it? Smells good, don't it? Let me stop playing with y'all. But anyway, my whole thing about this, it's entertainment for us, okay? And I had went and reblocked him again because I said, let me not take this block button off because this is the exact reason why I blocked him, because of these rants. It was just so random, so out of the pocket, and it's like, you're a grown-ass man. I don't know how old he is, 40, almost 40, over 40, whoever, whatever. Get off of Twitter. Take your social media and cut it off. I thought, like, you wasn't doing this no more. Like, it was just pointless to me, okay? You trying to say that Drake out here trying to tarnish your name and take food out of your pocket and money out of your pocket and do all that stuff. But what are you doing? You trying to do the same thing by putting this shit out there and trying to say that this man is out here doing this stuff. And then you trying to say that Drake, making fun of people with mental illness. Okay, now we go back and we seen that whole shit with Kid Cudi. But other than that, it's like we really don't know what went on and if Kanye, because he's done this so many times in the past where he 9 out of 10 was off his meds and he just started ranting and ranting and ranting and ranting about random things. We don't know if he's telling the truth, okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, Drake ain't going to do no shit like that. I'm not going to put that past anybody because we don't know that, all right? But the one part that I'm really not here for is the fact that he said that Drake was threatening the kids and all that stuff. And then he talking about himself in the third person and, you threatening Saints in Chicago and North's father, and then he's so egomaniacal up here talking about I'm your if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here, and anybody coming against me, that's for clout and all that stuff and woo woo. He put himself on such a high pedestal, okay? Granted, I'm pretty sure that Drake was a fan, is a fan of Kanye, and that was one of his idols or whatever. But don't ever say because of you there wouldn't be no, because of me there wouldn't be no you. Okay, don't ever say no shit like that, because you don't know if you were the inspiration for him to be in in a rap game, or if it was somebody else, or if it was a combination of a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? That is a lot for you to say, and that is so egotistical of you to say, and narcissistic of you to say that if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here. No, you didn't birth these people. You gave, life to some of them, meaning that inspiration, but you didn't birth nobody, all right? They probably was inspired by some shit, but you didn't birth, okay? Because you wasn't the only one that had a dealing or hand in their inspirations and stuff like that. It was just really ridiculous, okay? And then to keep going, and then he was repeating himself. Then he started talking about Travis and how, he can't stand the Sicko Mode song, okay? And basically went in on Travis for being on a song with Drake and saying that Drake was just dissing him in that song, whatever, and Travis still put the song out or whatever. And I'm sitting here like, okay, but Chad, you did the same thing with Pusha T. You executive produced that goddamn album, and you was in the studio when Pusha was saying all them diss tracks and shade and all that stuff in his songs towards Drake on his album. You didn't stop the shit, so why you in your feelings now? Okay, what goes around comes around. And then at this point, you talk about something, you shouldn't put no diss tracks against me and all this stuff. Nigga, you not exempt. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Oh, Kanye a genius, Kanye this. Just because you a genius, just because you got musical ties in the industry and all this stuff and you did all this shit, does not mean that you can't be touched by a diss track. Okay? People be dissing Beyonce, alright? People do that shit. Unfortunately, it happens. All right. Nobody is as untouchable as they think they are. Okay. You are not exempt. You are not exempt. And I just feel like even if he did have a point, he didn't make him. He made himself look even more out there. I'm not gonna say crazy because I don't like using the word crazy when it's with somebody that we know have a mental illness. And that motherfucker said, "Well, if I'm bipolar, nigga, you are. You put it out there." What? That's why I felt like he was just going on one of his he had a little episode. And I'm just sitting here like, Drake, don't play into it. He got in his feelings because of emojis and stuff like that. I said, really? Really? How old are we? And then I said, Kylie, don't tell your man don't play into this shit either. Okay? Don't tell your man don't play into this shit. Just be quiet, Then Kim wanna bring her ass out and gonna say something to Drake. Don't you ever threaten our kids. If it wasn't for Kanye, it wouldn't be no Drake or whatever. I said, girl, if you don't shut your colonizing ass up, girl, shut the fuck up. I hate when she do this. It's one thing to defend your man when he's right. It's another thing to just get into men's business. Just like we don't want men and women's business. Let these two men handle this shit themselves, okay? He was doing fine without you coming in and making it worse, all right? Because I say this and I know somebody gonna be like, well, that's her husband. What you expect her to do, to just sit there and not say nothing? Not necessarily, but what I expect her to do is to take her husband's phone, or at least try to talk him down off the ledge, because that's what it needs to be. Because that man was just going and going and going, and he was repeating a whole bunch of shit over and over again. So it was like, it was pointless at one point, and she come through with that, just making the situation worse. And I'm like, I hope you're saying this because you actually heard the phone conversation. He put it on speakerphone and you heard these words, and you're not just going by something that he think happened because you didn't hear it. I just don't know what goes on in these people's household. It was just a lot. Like, and I understand defending your spouse or whatever, but sometimes you need to learn when to just take a seat back and just let the shit unfold. Kim is an enabler, okay? She is an enabler. We all saw that clip where she was trying to stay on Keeping Up with the Kardashians that they pulled from the scene, that trying to make it seem as if Kanye did not say slavery was a choice, which he did, okay? And so they pulled it because it was a lie what Kim was saying, okay? So it was just like, girl, pick and choose your battles wisely and just shut the fuck up. I don't know what's going on with Kanye at this point. Drake, don't respond to the shit. I really do want you to put the diss track out that you supposedly had, but at this point, don't. Let him just argue with himself, okay? Because who knows what's going on. That's all I can say about that. We need to teach our kids better, okay? Because there was this 9-year-old black girl who allegedly killed herself. She hung herself, I believe, because she was being bullied at school because she was friends with a white boy. She was friends with a white classmate, all right? And these are 9-year-old kids, 8, 9-year-old kids, and they're upset at the fact that she was friends with him. So where in the Bible, like, racism, prejudices sometimes, hate, that is taught, okay? And it is so unfortunate that we live in this type of world where a lot of this is coming out so much more in the media and everywhere we go. We see people doing certain stuff to other people, other groups of people that don't look like them. And you see the effect that it's having on people, the younger people. Okay, you think that you talking to an adult, there are kids around that are seeing this and they are picking up on that same habit, picking up on those same, things that you're doing. Okay, and it's disgusting. Those same manners, those same thoughts. This little girl was just probably being a good friend, a good person, being friends with somebody because she liked that person for who they were, and because of that, she was bullied. That is sad and that is sickening. And those children, their parents, they need to have a sit down and something needs to happen to them, because you can't tell me that these kids just all of a sudden picked this up and woke up and said, "Oh, let me just bully her because of this," and you're not supposed to be with this type of person. No, that shit is taught in the home. It's what they see. It's what they hear in the home. Okay, you could be joking around with your family and with your friends or whatever and not realize that the kids are standing right there and they picking up on all of this stuff and they go back and repeat what they hear. Okay, and it's really unfortunate and sad. Condolences to the family. Speaking of that, we got another video where the white woman was on the train, and I don't know exactly what went down, but she just started going off on. There was a group of Asian people that was sitting there. Start going off on them, calling them all racial slurs and things of that such, and then start hitting the girl and kicking her. Bitch, let me just tell you this. That girl was cute. That girl, she was good. She was good because the bitch, it wouldn't have been me. I wouldn't have given her the time. But then again, she did right. She did right. She didn't want to hit first so that she can be looked at as the aggressor, even just in case this wasn't being filmed. Because a lot of people took their cameras out and their phones out and was filming it. Okay? And she said her mess, okay, and then the white lady just took her stuff off, and you see her taking her stuff off, putting her bag. She took her gloves off, put it in her bag. Took her shades off, put it in her bag. Went in her bag, got a little hair tie, and started putting her hair in a ponytail. I said, "Oh, bitch, we about to fight." She knew what she was about to do. She was getting prepared for what she was about to do, bitch. And I was just like, we not finna do this today, okay? Next thing you know, she kicking the girl. She kicking the girl after she poured the umbrella out her bag. I said, "What you about to do with that umbrella, miss? What are you about to do with that umbrella, miss?" She poured that umbrella out her bag, and then she started hitting the girl with the umbrella. Now, see, the girl better than me because I would have got my ass up and I would have pummeled that bitch, okay? Soon as you would have came into my personal space and you would have put your hands on me, that gives me all the right causes and all the right reasons and the right to fuck your ass up. But see, old girl was good. She just sat there, let her do what she had to do because she knew, people recording this stuff and she was going to get hers, okay? And basically that's what's going to wind up happening. People already got that shit, and I hope she get fired from her job. And I don't want to hear no bullshit ass apology talking about something. I was just having a bad day and all this stuff. I don't want to hear that shit. You knew exactly what you was doing, okay? You came there ready to fight, bitch. Them people was trying to break it up. And oh boy, he good. You better be glad you got somebody that did not hit your ass. That man tried to step in between them two multiple times and then put his hands on that lady, okay? And he could have. And I wouldn't have been mad if he did. Moving on from that, Michelle Williams, we need to just hold her up in prayer. And I hate speaking about her like this because I feel as though she get a lot of negativity coming her way. Ever since she was in Destiny Child, she's gotten a lot of backlash and people just coming down on her and, trying to make her like the black sheep of the group. And, even till this day, now that they're not even in Destiny Child, they still all the poor Michelle hashtag and all this stuff, and not realizing that a lot of the things, negative things that you say to these celebrities, a lot of them don't show it outwardly, but they're internalizing it, and you don't know the issues that they have. Regardless of their celebrity, they're still people just like us, and they still go through things that regular folks go through, like mental health issues. And she's dealing with mental health issues through and through. So we saw that her and Chad, her fiance at the time, they were going to have this reality show, and it was going to be an 8 episode show, dealing with them and their relationship, going to therapy and everything. Um, and we saw, I looked at the first 5 episodes, okay? 5 or 6 episodes. Yeah, 5 episodes. I didn't watch last week's episode because at this point, what's the point? I'm sorry, but I just couldn't do it after the news came out that Michelle was the one who broke off the engagement, and she said she's now single. She has a new single out called Fearless, and, she didn't say nothing negative about him. It's just her. And you can just see that she was not ready to be married, and it seems as if she was, you know, trying to get into that headspace. When I'm looking at the show and he's saying how she broke off the engagement a few times already, and y'all already only been together for a year or so, like, y'all needed some time to cultivate this relationship, and you weren't about setting a date to actually get married. They really didn't know each other, if you ask me. If you can bring up her mental illness as a shot at her because she's saying something about race or whatever, yeah, you're not ready. You don't know each other through and through yet to be married, okay? Some people can get married on a whim and it works out perfectly fine because they use that time afterwards to get to know each other for real through and through. But some people have to go through that process where they need to get to know each other first before they feel comfortable enough to actually get married and go and take that step. But I feel as though with Michelle Williams, that's the type of process that she needs, okay? She needs to get to know the person first, and she needs to get to know herself first as well. And so I'm one of the ones that's not mad at the fact that she broke off the engagement, because you can see cracks. If you watch the show, you can see the cracks that was here and there. Now, had they just, said we're going to put the engagement on hold, but we're still going to be together and work on each other, I still would have been fine with that. But Michelle needs to work on herself, okay? And we can see that she was on Broadway doing a play or whatever that was supposed to end January 6th, I believe. And I just seen some posts or whatever saying that everything was all to the good. And she was just happy. Miss Tina reposting her things and everything. And next thing you know, they saying that she abruptly exited the show due to some unforeseen occurrences, and most likely because of her mental health or whatever. And I'm just like, Mama is going through it. Mama is going through it. And see, this is why we have to be careful what we say about people. Okay? We don't know what they're going through. And this is any and everybody, even the people that I be on here talking about, we have to be careful the way that we say things, the way that we word things, how we, speak on them, because we don't know how that may affect them. And we don't know if they've been getting that their whole lives, and the underlying issues that's been going on, the internalization of things that's been going on. And I just want her to love herself, find herself, and don't rush into things, okay? Just because you're probably, she's 38 or whatever, that don't mean nothing. You can still find love later, okay? When you get to know you and you learn to love yourself, then everything else will fall into play when it's supposed to fall into play, okay? I'm just hoping for the best for Michelle. That's all that I want, is the best for Michelle. Moving on from that, let me see what else is going on. So Kodak Black was having an interview with Ebro on Hot 97, and I think Ebro brought up, I just saw the clip, he brought up something about a case that he had going on with sexual battery or whatever. And Ebro was just basically saying that they take that seriously up there. And Kodak said basically he over and done with the conversation, and people was getting in their feelings. You got Trick Daddy coming at Ebro. And my whole thing is, if he did something wrong, okay, be held accountable for it. We really out here defending people who's committed sexual battery or whatever he did. That's if he did it wrong, And it's just like with the whole Cardi B and Offset thing. You literally got Lil Duval and T.I. and other people coming out basically saying that Cardi needs to stop playing and go ahead and take Offset back. I'm like, so you really don't give a fuck about women when you say shit like that. You really don't give a fuck about women and their respect and their feelings and, the trauma and the pain and suffering that you caused them, and basically saying cheating ain't shit. Okay, a man's supposed to cheat. That's basically what you're trying to say. Talk about you shouldn't let no cheating get into the way of a relationship and all that shit. Cheating on me ain't love, okay? If you can stick your dick or stick your puss in somebody else, you know, rub your clit on somebody else to have somebody else do some other shit, you don't love me enough to, you know, respect me. Okay, you have no respect for me if you can do stuff like that and constantly do that. And the fuckboys who did it, these are the ones who always cheating on their girls, and they girls the ones that stand. Okay, I just like, but then let their women would cheat on them. Okay, or at least look like they're about to cheat on them, or just be talking to another dude, have a male friend or whatever, and it's all hell finna catch loose. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you all types of hoes, you all types of bitches, sluts, and all this stuff, and we done, okay? But yet, you want to be the one that be allowed to cheat, and she's supposed to keep you. Get the fuck out of here. But the Kodak thing, I really don't. It reminded me of the whole put some respect on my name. Who else also what's his name? Birdman left that interview with Power 105. And you know, people was defending it. I'm confused on the situation. Somebody put down in the comments exactly what case they're talking about, or could he talk about the case? Now, if Ebro, if it was a case that, you know, it was in the process of going on and he can't speak on it, and Ebro knew that he couldn't speak on it, then I can understand being a little bit peeved. But I wouldn't have ended the interview just like that. But you know, to each his own. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. This whole thing with Lil Mama and Bow Wow going back and forth, the twins are going at each other. Now, I look at 106 and Park, Growing Up Hip Hop, right? And on Growing Up Hip Hop Atlanta, Lil Mama is one of the new cast members, and she was basically trying to tell Bow Wow, I want you to come down there to New York with me, up there to New York with me, with my family, be around my family, get away from the atmosphere. He kept on making it seem as though Lil Mama was trying to come on to him, and that wasn't the case. And she simply said, I just want you to be around my family, people that can get you right. That's it. She didn't say, I want you to be alone with me, I'm trying to fuck you, or anything like that. So he winds up setting her up with this dude who is a radio personality out there in Atlanta, and they had a good time or whatever, and he wound up talking to him and asking, you know, was she doing this? And he was like, yeah, she was flirting with me, and she was touching me, and she was doing this. And Bow Wow was basically like, oh, you gonna fucking weak, you know, trying to make it seem like she easy, okay? And her whole thing is, you know me for a while, you know me for a long time, and for you to put out there that you can fuck in a week, bitch, you know that ain't even me. Don't nobody get into me like that. Ain't nobody about to be fucking on me. Ain't nobody ever fucked on me like that, okay? She went in on this ass, and it was warranted, because if you saw the show, you know how Bow Wow is. Bow Wow is an asshole, all right? Bow Wow is an asshole, and he's another one of those who probably has mental health issues as well that he put out there. No, he did say he depression and things of that such, but he also is not a 100% good person, you know, and it's unfortunate that you would say some stuff like that about somebody for the sake of a camera, to make them look bad on TV, or to boost yourself up, you know, for a storyline. And that's exactly what it seemed like it was going on. And she had every right to come at him and say what she had to say. Y'all tell me how y'all felt about that if y'all watched Growing Up Hip Hop. Bitch, if you watched the show, did y'all see when Johnny Blaze gets on my nerve, okay? I just don't see it for her. She's very talented, but I just don't see it for her if she can't get that attitude in check. Deb is really there trying to help her ass out, and she just doing the absolute most. Did y'all see when they was in Jamaica and Deb's little boyfriend came out there and they was kissing? That's all I felt. Dry heaving up in this bitch. But I said, you know what, Deb? You better get it. Got her your young buck too. I said, all right, you know, it could kind of turn my stomach a little bit. But everybody talking about Nicki Minaj and her new boyfriend. Girl, I don't know the situation. I really don't care to get up in there, girl. If she happy, whatever. Y'all saying that he a sex offender or whatever. He was 16. They said the story goes he was 16, she was 16. The mother didn't want them to be together, and they called the cops or whatever. It is what it is. I don't know the true story about that. It don't matter to me, okay? I'm not into I'm just here for the music, okay? I'm just here for the music. That's all that I'm here for. Y'all can be pissed off about, you ain't dating him, okay? You ain't dating him, so it is what it is. This whole thing with, what's going on? Jacquees. Why I call him Jacquees? Jacquees in the R&B thing, and now he said it right. He worded it correctly. He did not say he was the R&B king. He said he was the R&B king, king of R&B for this generation, this current generation. And even though he worded it correctly, meaning he's saying this generation, this current generation, he's still lying, okay? You cannot be an R&B king when you don't have no real songs of your own charting or out, or people really know outside of little crowds or little mixtapes or whatever. You can't be an R&B king if you are all out here strictly doing covers of other people's songs, okay? People don't even really know you outside of most urban areas, okay, truth be told. And most people in that don't know you either. But that's, you can't even, no, you can't do that when you can't even do a proper run. You can't be R&B king when your notes are always flat. You can't be R&B king when you're not even on your note, okay? This is your note. You can't be R&B king when you're under it. You can't be on R&B king when you can't even find your fucking note, bitch. You can't be R&B king when you're constantly flat and in the same tone, same pitch, same intonation, okay? You can't do it. You can't do it, all right? And I do love this fact that he put this out. I feel like he did this on purpose so that people can start talking. You know what I'm saying? And it garnered a good conversation because you had the old heads coming out. And the old heads is not trying to take away from this new generation. But they know what music is, okay? Nobody in this new generation is really king yet, if you ask me. People are working their way up to being there for this generation, but there's nobody there yet, okay? But I did love the discussion that was going on. And it brought some old people back, and it brought some other people back that I had to look into. And I was like, oh, okay. You do what you gotta do. All right. It was a good, healthy discussion, if you ask me. People was having fun with it, and I enjoyed it. I really did. Who y'all think is the R&B king of old generations and this generation? And then who's the king, who's the prince, who's the emperor, who's the empress? Well, they're the same thing, to be quite honest, because emperor and empress and king in different cultures means the same thing. Okay? But court jester, duke, who's all that shit? The duchess? Let me know. And the last thing that we're going to talk about is the fact that Michael Cohen, the former lawyer to Trump, he got sentenced to 36 months, aka 3 years in jail, for fraud and all that stuff that was going on with him. And Trump basically threw him under the bus, which we knew would happen. Okay, I'm just surprised that he got the sentence that he got. Honestly, deserve a little bit more, but he about to do a little interviews tonight, and he about to tell all about how Trump knew about everything that was going on, which we all know. Okay, we all know. Who was really surprised? They really trying to get this man out of here. I honestly feel like he's gonna serve out the rest of his term, and if he get reelected, that's really gonna be a telling thing. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this video wasn't gonna be that long. It really wasn't much going on. I just got a lot of stuff going on. That's why the video is like it is. And hopefully, next week is Thanksgiving and already passed. Somebody said watch Catfish. Okay, let me just tell you this. I'm going to have to go back and watch all of it because I didn't even know Catfish had came back. That's how not into it I am no more. Obviously, I haven't done any reviews for it. So, somebody said Rich Dollars. Some girl thinking like she dating Rich Dollars on one of the episodes. I said, oh, so another Bow Wow, type of thing. But I'm going to go back and look at it. Probably mention it next week. You guys, if you don't see me next week, meaning for another What It Is and anything of that such, I just want everybody to have a joyous holiday. If you're traveling out of state, please be safe, okay, doing so, and just have a good time. Enjoy the festivities of the season, and enjoy one another. Tell everybody that you love them while you can, okay? And I will see you guys later, all right? Enjoy the rest of y'all week. Have a blessed weekend, and I'll see y'all later. Y'all know y'all gonna see me later on tonight for Married to Madison season finale and for Love After Lockup. So, I'll catch y'all who watch. I'll catch y'all later, okay? Peace.